and then without putting any biases into your mind, how was your experience at Uplara?
Oh man. Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
That
so
the
old
there.
old
man said a
man,
lot of things.
yeah, the old man said a lot of things. But yeah, how was
Oh,
the startup life, the problems you worked on, the culture, your learning?
yeah. So with the Uplara, it was a crazy journey, I will say.
Hmm.
So there are definitely few good points and some of the points that I should take for my future life. So few things that I learned from his from the Uplara is like how actually real world problems are. Like I was till that time I was only working on the synthetic data. I was only working
Right.
on the research part, and
Hmm. Hmm.
academia is very restricted. They will only care about the papers. They will not go beyond the papers. They will not try to actually take the images or take the actual data from real life and then try their algorithms on it. Even though I was curious about it, but even professors also asked to get those restrictions. But this is something that experienced in Aplara, that we were actually capturing real world images. We were actually experimenting all these models on real world. And that's where I actually understand how challenging it is to use AI in real life and what
Mm.
problems could cause. Like in few minutes ago I mentioned that those lighting conditions and all this blur sharpness things affect, right? That's what I just heard from theory, or I just listened to my
Seeing.
advisor. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
just saying, but I actually experienced it in Aplara. Abhinav has also seen cases where people submit their photo with shadows on their faces, with shadows on their body, and then it gets very challenging to deal with such images. So that's one very important learning that I have understood, that the problem is not easy, even if it's a very small problem. It goes very challenging if you actually try to implement in real world.
Get all the
Right.
nuances, basically. Handle all the
Makes
edge
sense.
cases.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Just to add to that, it's basically the completeness of the product, right? There's just so much to when you transition from research to product, where you have to handle so many more things. Yeah, totally agree with you on that. What else?
Apart from that, I actually realized that how team culture is important and how the
Mm,
teamwork is important. So if the team is right, then you can actually develop your product. So actually, I was watching one lecture from an MIT professor. It's more on the business side. So he was explaining like, so the question was, is the idea important or the team important or the time important? And
okay.
every student answered that idea is the most important thing. But
Probably
with
not.
the time yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With the time he explained that the first most important thing is the right time, then second comes your team and execution, and then
Yeah.
it comes to your idea. So that's what I have learned from even from my experience at Uplara, even also my current organization Karza. If your team is not right, you won't be able to do it. If your culture is not right, that would be even more disastrous, because your team members will leave and then you will not have any other options. So that cultural gap is very important. And I can totally sense that gap between Aplara and Karza. So there's a
Mhm.
huge difference of culture.
So when you say
Right.
culture, what is like the right culture as per you?
Mm. So, okay, I think what I believe is there should not be a lot of hierarchy when it comes to technical discussions, when it comes to the technology part, because hierarchy creates biases. And what I have been experiencing in Karza is like, even when I joined for the in the first few months, my opinion was given the same weightage as the opinion which is given by someone who is working in Karza for 2 3 years. So
Right.
there was no bias in it. They were always ready to do experiments, and there was always like a strategy that they had.
Mhm.
Okay, we our main problem is this, then we had to deal with it in such manner. So everything was planned, and there was no direct restrictions. Even I had interactions with the CTO of the company, and the CTO was always curious that what you are doing. He wanted to understand what I am doing, and he was also ready to discuss papers with me. That was
Mhm.
something very exciting for me. Like, he was giving me time, he was actually discussing papers, he was giving new ideas, and we were actually implementing those. And
Right.
he was ready to listen to my ideas as well. It was never like a one-way communication where he is just telling me that, okay, you have to do this, and then I will do that only.
Makes sense.
And the workload and the work-life balance, man, that is very important, I feel. That is really great at Karza. The work-life balance is too good over here.
Yeah,
What
promotional content for Karza.
yeah.